So part of me wants to wait until people tune in. Part of me wants to start right in. The dog's looking, relaxing. Yeah, that's it. Right? Yeah, not usually there. And as I sometimes do, I only have kind of a basic idea as to what I plan to do in this video, and it is about community as well here on YouTube, and um, what that uh, you know interacting with the world here on YouTube. Um, there was something I also wanted to remember, but have already forgotten. And don't you hate when that happens? Um, oh, I'm in that tab. Okay, right. Or window rather. And I'm making okay. Anywho, that was not an indicator of anything along the top. That was an indicator of thinking in my own head for a moment. Again, it's that kind of thing of if that radio was any quieter, I don't know if I'd hear it. And I want it a little bit in the background because I feel like it kind of I don't know. It's hard to explain, but maybe you know what I mean. So I understand like some people will click into that's what I was gonna do. We'll click into a video just because it someone they like the title. They just see that you're live and they're curious. Uh, you know. And I have two, three, 2.5 hours before I would have to do other things. Um, but I don't think I'm going to roll that long because I have been rolling for a while today. But and I've had people um, somewhat chiming in on the videos, and I kind of do want to give back. So far, it seemed like the people that have, although lovely and legit, yet anyway. So yeah, basically, I want to not be too distracted because I want to remember that I'm doing this. Um, um, I don't remember opening this one thing, and I'm going to close it because why do creators? Okay, I do remember now, but too late. I closed it because it was one of those ones that had words like put into the image, and that's what jumped out at me. And so I did it too. I don't think I usually fairly good eye for detail and but or at least yeah most of the time. But and I don't remember because I just closed it. Like I said, maybe it'll show it to me later. But it was something about being a creator, and but then it said, or I can't remember what it's about, but that's kind of what the theme of that channel is about. And it said something about why you struggle to accept praise. I don't. I and even though I go through moments where sometimes I don't feel like I get very much of it, it's not like when I do, it's like I don't believe it. Like I still have my confidence, a healthy level of confidence, and I'm also happy that it's being given and that you know yeah that it's been noticed as worthy of praise. But it's not just about that too now. But again, I just want to also make sure that I'm focusing on what the title of this video is about. You know, I always try to, and I usually do, and usually near the beginning. Sometimes I kind of get sidetracked and then I get back to it. And honestly, sometimes I just have such a what I feel is a great topic and title, and I don't really think too much into the idea behind it. Um, I probably should more, but for the most part, I think it's been going okay to do it that way. So, what do I think of if I was to kind of expand my thoughts on the title? Of course, sometimes I ask the viewers what they think. I mean, and I mean, they'll let you know. They'll let you know. They'll say when they want to and when they feel to. Um, but and like I say, I've been thinking of lots of deep questions lately, and or lots of questions lately, and some of them are in other videos, but this one does kind of pose one. This topic, um, whether it's although it was varied. I grew up around a lot more so I'm around to the feminine. I've always held that with the masculine, and kind of found the you know combination that I like within myself, or am finding within myself and others. I mean, that's the first example that comes to mind. Whether it's the strongest or best example, I don't know. Trying to think of other ones. Um, I'm thinking. I'm gonna make a list here. How about teachers, influencers? As if I need more suggestions on people to check out on here. Um, Two, influential influencers. Three, yeah, like I say, part of me feels that radio is too loud, and you know it'll be too noticed, in the background. But like I say, it's that feeling of if it's any quieter, I don't think it would be we'd notice it at all. And for whatever reason, that I would be curious for people to kind of guess whether they relate or not to having needing background noise. I mean, part of it is tinnitus, but I don't think it's. I don't. I think there's something else to it, and I'm not sure what. So feel free to suggest. Um, Trying to think of the other kinds of people that shape us in our life. Um, I mean, that one's obvious. That one's very obvious. Whether I want to go there with it or not, I don't know. I'm saying it that way again. I don't know why. Who else? Um, okay. And I do and don't kind of like how that kind of laid out. I don't know. Um, I kind of want it to stand out. I also want to remember another idea that whoops, okay, it's just not going to, I guess. Well, it kind of does because there's a 2 and a 4 and a 5 over there, and okay. But I also wanted to remember another, but it makes sense to say it when there's somebody here, I feel like. Not that this other stuff doesn't, and not that there wouldn't be afterwards, but I just feel like it pretty much, yeah, makes more sense that way. Um, yeah, I guess if I sit this way, might be a bit better on my legs for a bit too. I don't often, but yeah. So I guess while I'm waiting for people to tune in, I can kind of address some of those things. And I do have that note there. It's true, which should hopefully remind me of the other thing. Um, and it's interesting because I have done a couple. One was very musical, or maybe two. I think it was all in one video. Maybe not though. Fairly recently, and then there was a couple of them that were um, spoken, kind of about the people that we remember in our lives. Um, so we can get into perhaps some of that stuff, but also the whole thing behind why it matters, when and how much and how and all that stuff. Um, and you know what? Let's keep doing that thing. As much as Colton and I, and that other thing, as much as it looked cool in that one movie, makes me, I don't know. And if you've ever seen it or check it out, feel free to let me know. But why it matters? Well, because I feel like it says a lot about you know. At the end of the day, we're our own person and the person that we have made ourselves to be. But people do. Um, then should be free. People do. Um, for lack of a different way of putting it, feed off of each other sometimes. Often, actually, in small or big ways, whether we notice or not. Um, and yeah, um, it's just kind of something I'm kind of thinking about at the moment a little bit. Isn't that something else? Um, and I just was made to think of an interesting example. And some of you, some of you, I can say thankfully and amazingly, even if you've never met this person, you know her because her legacy and her spirit lives on. I was just kind of scrolling through messages, and it's doing. I think it was just doing something kind of wonky or whatever. But I was scrolling through messages, and I guess part of what stood out was that this particular person was online, and I don't know them super well, but we both had this friend in common, and it's Ray, who I mention fairly often in the videos. And so see, I'm finding momentum even though there's nobody here because that at the moment because yeah, it can be a bit distracting, but whatever. It is what it is. I mean, happy when they're here. Some of these do better than others. People intend to maybe come back and check things out. So you be the one that decides whether this particular video is worthwhile of your time, your liking your comments and such. Um, don't let others decide. Um, sorry, I was just kind of processing something. But yeah, so she's one, and I'm often on about her. So I mean, I don't know. I really don't know if I really need to. I don't know. Sometimes it's traits that are not necessarily uncommon that are special. I guess I could pose the thought slash question just randomly. Would you rather be remembered for someone, either whether we want to say, regardless of what life has done to you always try and be a good and nice person, plus perhaps and likely you already kind of are, or the opposite? And what kind of people do you prefer to remember? Do you prefer to um, you know think about? Um, because aside from her laugh and somewhat her style and look, and the friendship that she just simply gave us, her time and everything, as one particular person, it was her kindness that many of us remember. Um, Working backwards, maybe I'll do it that way. We've got partners that can be or current. Um, um, Relatives, family. It's not that I don't have or haven't had. I mean, we all have relatives and family, whether we've got good ones or not, is the other kind of question, right? But I'm not sure if there's any particular ones that I would like to. I'm gonna message a bro, but and there's another reason, kind of, why I think of this person and the people that shape us are the people that accept us and want to get to know us. And it all sounds very much like just the same repetitive music playing on there. You have to go upstairs in a moment. Rolling a video. And this is not really along the themes of the Shape of You song, but for some reason, well, because of the title, I kind of did think of it. And also this songbook here. We will see. We will see. Um, so this might be one of the after the fact ones. Who we'll see. I mean, there's still, with the other person in the house, there's still a couple of really great ones from a couple of days ago, but they were deep, and they were just But again, it's not that I don't feel like the deep isn't worthwhile, but it I guess you have to know when it feels right, and maybe you won't know right away, but it will. It will reveal itself. I'm very surprised, especially compared to the other ones, how quiet this one is being. And and it's both a little unusual. There's just no indicator along the top. Change the algorithms. You may have right brain, so we're just gonna kind of make these a bit quieter for a little bit. I don't know. Hmm. I'm being reminded in an interesting way of an old classmate. She had a unique name, and I haven't, I remember her from time to time, but I wasn't exactly super close with her. And then we didn't go to high school together. And I do kind of remember her seeming older when we were both the same age than she was. It's kind of an interesting thing to remember. Um, I'm just trying to figure out if there's anything else that I would like to cover on this topic. I mean, it doesn't feel like a very big topic, but it's all a matter of perspective in each person's, you know. And I think that it's good to um, remember that. I think I already said it, but that we can choose to be positive people. Um, it's very kind of interesting. I was singing a song just the other day that mentioned some of the people in this list. I'm just going to quickly, because this is kind of how I'm thinking of doing this video, and then I do have to wrap up soon, but I'm just going to quickly say, um, well, I mean, there was one, especially on one of my recent videos, and others on other ones. Um, I might have to come into the comments and answer some of these as they come, and if I think to, because I'm sure that there have been some people I didn't really know but have met in life. There was that new again. Welcome, both of you, that have influenced and shaped me. Um, I think in my content, heart, heart, heart. Thank you. Who do we got watching? I think in my content, it's obvious how I am trying to be as an influencer, how I am trying to. I'm not really even trying to sculpt you or shape you in one way or another. However, it might happen, and it might not be a bad thing. Um, don't know if I really want to talk about my. Oh, thanks for the heart, heart, 100%. Wow, ha ha. A little bit of all the emojis, mostly positive ones. Appreciate it. Who do we got watching? Um, I'm curious. I'm curious. Um, and whether I'm familiar with you or not, I'm curious whether you're familiar with me much or not. Um, I'm just looking at the chat here at the side, and huh. And I'm trying to think which ones of these I actually want to cover myself. Maybe you could help inspire me by picking one. Um, I'm kind of looking in the area of the first three. For some reason, I was working backwards. So, parents, influencers, which I mean, some of these could be all the same people, and teachers. Um, I heard I was, as it happens, I go on, the news feed as a lot of us do, and we get all these suggestions and that, and try not to open this in the window that is more for the other person in the house. But sometimes it feels like the easiest one to do a podcast on, and to do a podcast, you have to go to the news feed, right? And so, And I saw one, and I think I've noticed this woman before, but I don't think that I've ever watched her content. And within the first minute or two, one thing she said was to find, and this was her wording, 7 OMG yes moments in her videos. Um, if you don't want to have God in that phrase, like, and the viewer left. Interesting moment for them to do so. And the reactions that they gave may or may not show in the playback, but they sure as heck don't show in the thumbs up. And actually, I would say mostly four of the five, I would say, are positive reactions. So, well, two, kind of three. Haha, can be. Wow, maybe can be. But that's interesting. I can give them to myself. That's aside from myself. How weird, eh? So I just selected three. They seem a little strange, but there you have it. I knew. Why am I talking like the? I don't know. um, and the person was here. I had a bunch of ha's with the other reactions, but it seemed to be more like 100, which is, I believe, 100%. I agree. There was a couple celebrates, which is an interesting one. There was a few hearts. So I mean, and that's the thing. Like I say, we can look at a video and say, "Oh, it doesn't look like it has much or whatever," but that's why it's maybe good to express it, because that was there. Um, so to wrap this up, and this kind of feels like a different way of saying a question that I've asked in a couple of my recent podcasts that keeps coming up. Why it keeps coming up, other than maybe it's an interesting question, I don't know. Why do I keep saying it that way? I don't usually. I'm not trying to sound like anybody. Um, oh, baby. Well, I do have that, which is good because the one I've been using went somewhere. But and I probably have also kind of said that in some of the other videos, but I'll try and say it quickly in here. And then we'll go from there. And yeah, oh, I don't like that stuff. I don't think I do anyway. Here it is. Okay. How has life shaped me? And it's interesting that that's in the same blurb as 7 resonating moments keep count. That's how I kind of rephrased that other YouTubers, to make it my own, and or not make it my own, but make it my own kind of version or interpretation. And like I say, the fact that this question or something similar to it keeps coming up makes me think that I meant to ask myself that. And it's funny because, like, there was an interesting video I saw this afternoon, or some of, where it said, you know, why it's, the power of, you know, being, in your own company. Um, and it was ironic because I currently don't know where this is. Kind of just like we got it from a donation center. It's kind of just like a secondary phone. It's a little finicky, but it's handy in some ways. But it's not my main cell phone, which I have no clue where it is, and it might even have uh, lost its powers. percentage-wise by now. And I've kind of looked around a little bit for it today and felt deep into the couch cushions, and I still am not sure. But anyway, it was interesting that he was saying that, but obviously he was either using his phone or some other device and not, but at the same time, maybe he also is largely following his advice. It would have been, yeah, but I mean, that was just a music playlist, but yeah, you know, um, but felt that it was a worthwhile enough topic to also do a video about. So we have two people here. I would maybe do a couple of these, and then I'll let you do a couple if you would like to, and then I'll do maybe a couple more. I do need to go upstairs briefly, and I've been thinking about that for a few minutes. But the question that we're looking at is, how has life, well, and it's in the title too, shaped you? 7 resonating moments. Keep count. So I'm going to look at some of those moments within my own life and welcome you to share some within yours. I'm just trying to figure out how I focus myself into that question. And it's interesting because the one just below that lists 6 different things, and they're all people based because, I mean, we live amongst each other, right? So that's kind of interesting. So there isn't a 7, but I'll try and think of one. We'll see how this goes. How have teachers shaped me, and perhaps you? And I'm gonna maybe turn the radio down because it's a little bit loud. Oh golly, Mrs. Myers is probably my favorite. Mrs. Phillips and Mr. Hill weren't bad. With that one, I feel like it would depend. I don't know. There's actually more than one teacher, you know. Mr. Oliphant. There's many. So that one's kind of a hard one. I mean, and that might be the case with some of these other ones, but let's look. Influential influencers. Every now and then I will talk about those that I watch on here. And I feel like I've done that recently. And I kind of mentioned the one that kind of half inspired the idea that I'm doing here. So let's count that one as that. Parents. I mean, it feels like I'm coming back to this list. I looked at it, kind of, didn't necessarily touch on all of them, and now I'm looking at it again. So I talked about my dad on here. I mean, Father's Day was recently, but I do talk about my dad on here quite often. And so again, if you've seen any of the videos before, then you kind of know that. But if I was to summarize, hard worker, kind, curious, in heaven now, but we have a second viewer. One of you's been here for a while. One of you just came in. Welcome. That one I tried to address earlier, and I kind of did. Other relatives. Heart, thank you. And like I say, feel free to say some samples yourself. Other relatives. I don't necessarily have a close family. These days, a lot of them have passed away or live far. Some of them are estranged. Well, 1 or 2 of them. Some of them aren't just very good at keeping in touch. I recently actually, and it was kind of funny because cooking is a hobby of my brother's, like a hobby, not just you have to do it every day. And I happened to send him one where I was doing some cooking, and it was just because it was recent, really. And I've invited him to the channel, and sometimes I don't know how much time he spends online and on devices, and he uses them for work. But I'm hoping you'll see the content. It's not, and I don't have a huge family, the ones that I do have, but again, that's kind of, where would I start with that? And since I did kind of narrow it down to my brother, I guess there's that. How has he shaped me? Uncle Jammer talks. Well, it's funny. Welcome, by the way. It's so funny that in two other videos I did earlier today, one for sure, two kind of, I thought, I've seen your content fairly recently, haven't I? Like your YouTube name sounds familiar. For sure, I know yours does, because that was just within the past, well, I was going to say hour, but for sure yours does. And I believe you're from Ireland. Is that correct? Um, the still you were going to make it up my face, but I've seen one or two of your videos, and Derbyshire. Okay, is that? I know that's in the UK. I'm pretty sure, but other than that, and you know, I haven't done this. I'm guessing you maybe saw my comment, or I don't think I subscribed today. I may already have been, but you saw my comment, and I said I wanted to watch it again, and I will try to. The fact that you're here, and hopefully the live chat shows afterwards, or maybe you can put a comment, kind of one final comment afterwards once it's posted. And I'm curious, Jammer, like you do music, or where's that come from? Anywho, so you're kind of an influencer that I could mention. Again, I'm not super familiar with you, and I'm thinking this is the first time you've seen me. I'm not sure. Love the accent, of course. Okay. Ever been to Canada? It was actually kind of cool, and I was just mentioning my dad a moment ago. He used to work with horses, and I know at first I was like multitasking, but I had the video playing as well, and it was, I don't know, it kind of was interesting how you said it, and then I realized you were talking about a pet or an animal, and then I realized it was a horse, and I'm glad you managed to cross the street. Gotta be careful. But cool. So, I can tell that I like your vibe. I can tell that I probably would like your content. I know one thing that you said was you said some pretty strong words about some past coworkers or people in your life. And when I heard that, I thought, I wonder if that's an exaggeration, but maybe it's not, or it's how you felt, and that matters. It was second person, welcome. But I invite you to look at the list in the chat above and think of the topic that is primarily this and tell me what you think. If we're talking about uncles, I only have one. He passed away when I was quite young. Not long ago, I was a spiritual present. It's ironic. He has somebody, I think she's a niece to his, I'm not sure, lives in our area, in our neighborhood. I still haven't been able to connect with her. I mean, I sent her a message ages ago, but she has kind of a unique last name. And so I was like, oh, and she's like, yeah, I know, I'm in the family. So, I mean, there was a relative I didn't really even know and still don't really, but whatever. I have the guy that my aunt has been dating for the past while, and he's had some health problems. He's very outdoorsy and adventurous, and we're not in a lot of contact. And now that I'm not really, as close as I used to be with my mother, and they maybe don't travel here as often as they used to, but if they did, I might not see them. I think last time they did, it kind of came up, but we didn't. I have to go and address something upstairs that is speaking to me, speaking to my. I got bullied a lot in school and the workplace, but that's made me stronger. And that's kind of something, not that I've been noticing bullying on the channel or whatever, but it kind of inspired the topic, because it's kind of like, bullies bully for reasons that you hear people say sometimes, usually, right? And it's interesting from a psychology perspective. Anyway, so I welcome you to write whatever else you'd like to say. I might do some music in this because I am musical, but I do have to step away for about 15 minutes. I'm also going to make a note here at the 41 mark. And I'm sorry that I'm doing that, but I am, and I'll be right back. And I'm really, really glad that you're here. Really glad that you're here, and it's been a lovely day here on YouTube, and I'm happy about that. And if you decide that you want more of me, and you do seem like you're kind of seeming chatty, but you know, it's up to you. It's up to how chatty you feel. And if you or the other person that just tuned in feel chatty, you're welcome to be here. If you'd rather just be listening, you're welcome to check out some of the other content. And if you decide to chat there or comment, then you can do that. I'm sorry that there's the radio is on lightly. So there's that, and you may have noise around you. But yeah, really happy that you're here. I'll try and do some music perhaps because I'm musical and I want to be making sure that I'm continuing to do that and put that on this channel as well. So, and what kind of work places have you worked in, as far as like what kind of occupations, and do you have one now? I'm just curious. Yeah, that'll keep you busy for a bit. Honestly, you might actually be one of the first people whose content I've commented and I'm kind of familiar because of their content, which is something I was hoping for. Whether I watched their live or commented on their stuff, no, that's on mine. That's very cool. YouTube is supporting YouTubers. I love it. It wasn't gone as long as I thought it was going to be, and I don't know. I don't know if that means that I will have to step away again shortly. But I'm gonna put on the AC because I'm a bit warm, and it'll cover up the radio a little bit. Although I found sometimes I'm doing these, it doesn't really matter whether the AC is on or not. I relate. And a lot of people do. I don't think you're still here unless it's being inaccurate at the top again and saying nobody's here when you actually are. If you aren't, so then adjust your count tonight, or maybe wait and see if you come back. I saw a heart, a very quick heart. It didn't travel very high up the screen because I don't know if that's how hard to press it, but it's still there and I appreciate it. Also, don't forget to, and I saw it again. I guess you're doing that maybe while you're waiting to see what you might want to say next. Don't forget also to like. I'm thinking maybe you've already subscribed. And you're already commenting, so I appreciate it. It does seem like there might be, or it seems to be kind of here and there, a bit of a glitch with lights, because like I know that there's a couple people that I know on YouTube who who definitely are liking the content, but they're not putting a like. And so I don't know what that's all about, but I also struggled. So you would say that you don't have anxiety, depression anymore? And obviously you've overcome it because here you are, so that's good. Oh, okay. Mm. So you used to experience, and that's either a typo or the start of and you're working on the next comment. I know they can only be so long here. Um, okay. Yeah, those things are hard and they suck to live with. That's for sure. Um, are you still there? Don't think anybody else is. I'm not sure. It's interesting. It's kind of bounced down. So, and those are deep things that you just mentioned, even though it sounds like you've come a long way with them. Uh, Welcome to the person that just tuned in, unless it's Uncle Jammer again, and then welcome back. um, so I think I might do some music in a moment here. We've kind of touched on this topic. It isn't a big one that could certainly be done in more than one. And like I say, as far as talking about people that we've always remembered in our life, it's kind of the same kind of thing. But this is more around also the focus on like how those people have made us who we are. And honestly, I do sometimes use, whether it's super consciously or not, what other people talk about on here, but sometimes it's just my own mind or my head or whatever. Well, it's usually one of the two, um, that brings up the topic. So I can't say 100%, but it's very likely that you kind of inspired this. I wish I could remember more precisely. One of the main reasons why I started my channel was to vent and get stuff off my chest about life, work, depression, etc. So, what kind of workplaces have you worked in? What do you work in one now? I never thought anybody would watch my videos, but people seem to relate. Yeah, yeah, cool. Well, we're all more alike than we are different. So, I mean, that being said, they should relate. And if they don't, then maybe they need to look within themselves and wonder what and figure out why they're maybe putting up barriers. You know, um, I mean, hey, I don't have all the answers, and I'm not perfect either. But um, so your YouTube channel has helped. Welcome to the second person. What else has helped? I never want to seem like I'm venting as much as I'm conversing and welcoming people to join me in that. But I suppose maybe sometimes I do, and maybe sometimes I am. See, sometimes people hear venting. This came up with somebody the other day that I know, and they're like, if you're just venting, that's fine. But if you want an actual response, just, be more direct in letting me know that. And I mean, last night, and I think the other person in the home realized, because I said, she's a pretty grounded person and that, and I needed to say it to somebody, and I didn't know exactly who. But yeah, um, just because it's venting doesn't mean that it can't be a conversation, right? Yeah, last night was great. We tried a new restaurant. We ordered in, and it simply had some nice moments. We were going to have dinner actually on the deck, which we don't often do, although one of us in the house would like that. But it's kind of one of the, I mean, we communicate with each other pretty well, but it was one of the rare times when we can actually sit down and maybe enjoy a little, escape together for a little bit while enjoying some entertainment media of some sort. So we often do that. And I was like, but you know what? It looks like rain. If it starts to rain, we'll come in. If it doesn't, it's, kind of cool out. The garden's nice. It's only garden season for so long. And just as we went outside with the food to sit down, and I was like, it's not raining that hard, but it was enough to be annoying. So we came in, but then we made our way back out there after dinner. And then we had, for lack of a different word, a bit of some tense moments. And I said I would never do this to his stuff. Um, you know, and I try to be very careful, and he understands that. One talks talk what I talk about. I had videos hit 17K views, which pretty much fast. I literally got monetized in 4 weeks, and I mean I have the option already. Thanks for the like from either of you who gave it. Curious if it was uncle or somebody else, and he's not my uncle, by the way. Maybe he is now, though. Just kidding. And then there's the one from Gorge, which is ironic because that place came up in the videos the other day. But and for me, large numbers of views. I mean, with them comes the appreciation, the likes, the comments, and such. But if they're not there, sure, I don't mind if someone's just here listening and they're getting something from it. But and I'm learning that is giving me something pretty worthwhile as well, but even more so comments and likes, and so I appreciate yours, and I appreciate you both and anyone else who is here. But yeah, for me, I mean, I know a lot of people, how many views do I got? I want to hit this many. And then some of them, they're like, they'll kind of be like, it doesn't matter, but then they're just trying to kind of fit in with all the others, and so it's kind of like they contradict themselves. And you say you had a video, so I'm curious. I mean, I would kind of argue to guess that maybe it was more than one video, but yeah, I mean, I guess it is kind of something when you're starting out. In some ways, it's true, but I'm not going to watch it tonight. But I hope it rains so we can watch them. Mine, yours, mine, yours. Oh, there's just so much on YouTube, so much great stuff, some weird stuff, some kind of in the middle stuff, and that's my category that I'm either drawn to or at least that I create. I don't know. But yeah, you seem to think that it was one particular video of yours, so plug it, man. Let's hear it. Anywho, so why I kind of mentioned last night is because, and I don't do this often, and I don't think that we should damage our stuff or anyone else's, but I just wasn't doing, I misplaced my phone, which I've still misplaced. I have clutter. It was starting to take an effect on the other person in the home. They were like, well, this mess. And I was like, it wouldn't be at the bottom of the pile because I didn't touch the bottom of the pile. And okay, and that seems to be a reoccurring theme for you, and it's because probably you have it's not so much maybe that you're rehashing that it happened. Hopefully not too often does it feel like that, but you, not like I say, I haven't seen a lot of your content, and I think this is your first time on mine, but you have gotten to a place where not only do you know how it can help others, but maybe it's still helping you, and it's reminding you of your growth. Because as a content creator, not just consumer, we're always growing. We should be. We're always Yeah. And I have a question for you that comes to mind, and I hope you won't mind. Just came to mind, so I'll ask it if you'd like me to. And most of us are curious, some more than others, but so I'm gonna think you're probably gonna say, "Well, now I hope you tell me." I can ask it one of two ways, honestly. I could say, "Have you come to forgive any of them, especially in particular, and how?" Or is there one that you think maybe you could, maybe even to the point, and who knows, maybe they see your content, of trying to reach out to them to see, one, are they a different person now? Two, do they own up to it? And are they, yeah. And if they're a different person now, then I mean, if you're talking about, you were talking more so in workplaces, I think. Did you say school? But I mean, any age can grow and get improve, you know. Um, so anywho, and there's just one over here now, and I think I know who it is, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Two of the places that, as we're growing up in life, we are in the most, right? Eh. And then for some of us, work takes a big long gap. And I noticed I've asked a couple times what kind of workplaces, and you haven't said. But I mean, maybe that's just because you're focused on saying the other stuff, or maybe you're actually avoiding saying it for some reason. But it's fine. But I am trying to find employment. And even though we live in different places, it might give me some ideas. And also, maybe the type of job, just, had people highly stressed. I don't know. I'm not trying to, and I encourage you to try and think if there might be someone. I was very lucky in school. I kind of grew into myself as I got older, and mostly it's been fine. I mean, I could say that I would like more love and acceptance in my life, especially in my 30s, which I'm in. But it's not like I don't have it. And I'm getting there. And I'm giving it to myself. And I'm finding it on here. So I have to remember those things because they matter too. But at the same time, um, I can't remember what made me say that. But have you ever heard from any of them who said, "I think I remember you, and I remember being that way on the YouTube"? Has that ever happened for you? I mean, like that, not that they were that way on YouTube, but like that and yeah, if not, like I encourage you to maybe think about reaching out to them. I'm gonna feel bad though if it doesn't go well, so don't blame me. Might be worth it though. It might go well. Oh, I need to put some of that stuff on. Next time I go up there, next time you see me go upstairs, tell me remind me I want to put some of my muscle rub on. There is one down here somewhere amongst all this stuff. Here it is. So I guess that could work if you don't mind me putting my hand up my shirt. Certain viewers will be like, if you don't, I'd like to. Just kidding. I promise I don't have a six pack. It's not that interesting. No, but I mean, it's not all about having a six pack. I mean, I like, you know, a not overly chiseled six pack as much as the next gay bi or even often hetero or mostly hetero guy. I don't know. I'm just, but yeah, that's not me. I'm a Buddha belly. um, who hopes I find my phone soon, but I'm thankful I have this because yes, I've been really enjoying the podcasting today. Um, so this book kind of reminded me of a place that, it's interesting how triggers work because like I'm mostly past that one, and I know that it was for the best. I talked about it a couple times recently. I thought about it a couple times recently, and I don't think it's because I'm not past those. I even kind of wondered if one of the viewers who wasn't saying something in one of the other videos may have been somebody from there. So I kind of gave them a little bit of a speech. Okay, I'll stop doing that soon. It's just, I don't know. Yeah. And I don't know if I can get it on here, but I can try. But there was a part of it that still was triggering for me. And so I've not been getting where I'd like to with my music career lately, but maybe soon. And so I ripped the front in a spur of the moment thing just last night. And that shows that it has experienced love, wear, and tear. And an interesting way to look at it could be that it has belonged, and that it has weathered a storm with me. By the way, when you keep saying mate, I keep thinking of my Australian brother who briefly lived in England. I want to say Hastings, just kind of around because that name makes me think of someone who kind of reminds me of the other person I was thinking of, which I don't know if I ever noticed that. And they were from the same. They were at the same place actually, but I don't think it was her. No. Most stuff. Not big about metal. I don't do a lot of rap, but earlier today it was. You may find it interesting to watch other parts of the video that I did. It was a longer one. If the live chat shows, there was a guy that went by Sound something, and I think there was a year, and I can't remember what the title was, but I did put in the comments that there was a song that was written afterwards, near at the end of it, that was very interesting, kind of how it transpired. It was rap, piano, fusion, and there was something else kind of a little special about it, but there's a part of me that's thinking, check out the video to find out what that was and let me know what you think. And that'll be cool because that would be in the main comments. I mean, you're not trying YouTube. I mean, but yeah, I can understand that you know, sometimes you can still be kind of a private, shy person even when you're on YouTube, but also very much you're not. It's like introvert, extroverts. We're all a bit of both as far as I'm concerned, but more strongly one than the other usually. Now we got a second person. Welcome. Yeah, so it'd be cool to see the comment there. Because it's not live at the moment. But and it's interesting also too, because this has a piano on the front. I don't know if I should show it. And yeah. That's got weird lyrics. Feel it still? Josh. So I'm going to list some songs, and if you know them and you'd like me to do them, pick a couple, and I'll do a couple. I've got an hour and a half before the other, well, almost 2 hours because that's just when he leaves. The other person in the home gets home, but I'm probably not going to roll that long. I don't think I am. I might be like the one guy I follow who does 6-hour streams. But in total today, I've probably done 3, 4, 5. Yeah, my brother hasn't lived in England very long, though. Have you always lived in, and I don't even know if Derbyshire is England. I want to say that's where Joseph was from, but I don't think so. Hey, Soul Sister. Havana. Jason Mraz, I'm yours. And I do feel like calling to go briefly upstairs again. But I've lived in Canada all mine. One call away. I mean, sure, maybe have some that make me think certain things. I know. It's one of those things. I don't really have a favorite. I'll do any of them. I'm basically saying I can't decide, so pick for me. That's another thing I might do its own video, but although I almost did it earlier and I talked myself out of it, but you're the only one here right now, and decision making. It's something I struggle with. I did 7 years recently. The song. I've never done time, if anybody's wondering. I've just been through a lot of time. And then this book was sitting on this shelf, and I did it with that one too, and that was a trigger about church days. And it was the only book, and it was flat on this shelf, which caught our attention a couple of times the other day. And it's called The Hard Rock Guitar Bible. And I feel like I put this one aside because although I bought it, I didn't feel like I knew that many of them, which I'm going to look again because that can't be accurate. So what time is it where you're at anyway? And are you in a rush or out of curiosity? We have a second person just tuned in. Welcome. I mean, I kind of like that one, but I don't like the word in the title. That's kind of interesting because it reminds me of another one of my video titles. And I actually listened to it in a playlist recently, but I don't think I know it, and I don't know C#. 9 p.m. Okay, it's 3 o'clock here in the evening. If it was 3 a.m., I'd be sleeping. Even last, yeah. Most likely, anyway. I feel like I heard this one, too. No, Pink has a song called that. Or something like it. I mean, it's a fairly large book, but it's weird. Huh. Just kidding. I feel good. Anyway, I know he's popular right now. For sure. It's an interesting name. Actually, kind of also because thinking about family. I only know one of his songs, and I'm not sure. Try another suggestion. It might speak more to me. If it doesn't, I'll do that one. How's that? But because losing control isn't a good feeling, but that's the song I know. But I don't know, as a singer, and everybody is different from me, and I know I said the things I said, and I'm like, you choose. But as a singer, I would say that I have to feel what I'm singing most of the time, or it just feels like I guess it feels like I'm holding back or wanting to. Elvis Presley. Any particular song? I feel like I did some Elvis on here recently. It's very ironic because I had this random feather show up stuck to our dog, and I didn't notice it for hours when he was in here until I did. And then we've had a rabbit's foot, very, very random and ironic, on our deck randomly the one day I was podcasting. It was a while ago. I don't want a four-leaf clover. I don't want an old horseshoe. But my dad worked with horses. Where's the good luck charm like you? Really? That's not too romantic and intimate? No, just kidding. Sure, I could do that. I'm, again, might feel like I have to go briefly upstairs, if you don't mind, and if you'd wait for me. I get another 10 or 15 minutes. Just you might guess why, and it's something that's sometimes hard to ignore. But wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Thanks for the hearts. Do you do music? My brother's a music producer, actually. I wonder what else we have in common. because I don't know, and I don't know if I should say it. And you're the only one here, so it's a nice one-to-one intimate moment to say it, and it might be interesting to do so. And thank you. Um, do you feel? Are you musical? Do you feel the same that you? Well, I mean, I think we all have to feel a song to want to hear it. Singing it, maybe also, but maybe there's something I kind of want to ask you, but I'm thinking maybe see that other video that I alluded to, and you can tell me if you relate there, unless you feel more comfortable here. The live chat was somewhat busy. I can't say what the guy was. I'm saying with this one, but this one would be in the live chat section. Um, hey, Mr. DJ, put the records on. I wanna dance with my baby. Getting more into doing a cappella snippets. It's a good way, although sometimes, like earlier today, I sang a song and I got right into it, and I wasn't podcasting, it was just before. But then I decided I didn't want to do it in the podcast. But I don't know. We got a second viewer. Yeah, music is one of those things, one of those healing, powerful things, that's for sure. Yeah. Welcome to the second person. Thanks for all the hundreds. If you like this show / talk and you're able to donate, although there'd be a conversion, my channel's monetized. I don't believe anybody's ever donated. Well, back in the day, so it's actually been monetized for a while. But then for a while, we slowed down on it. Well, it's a shared channel, so the one person slowed down on it. I didn't know that person. Now I do, and the past 2 or 3 months I've been, so I don't. Since then, nobody has, and it's like, why the heck not? I mean, I think I'm doing good stuff, If you can, I understand, but if you can, helps us keep us afloat, helps motivate us, and we appreciate it. I don't know exactly how we receive it. I have a guess, but yeah. We're a one-income household. Truth be told, every now and then I do worry, because you never know in life that we might be a no-income household. So I do what I can. Some people do very well on you, and so is he, And we're going to be looking at applying for some government assistance, but it's success comes in many formats, but money is a part of it, I would say, for me. And so although I feel like this is going well and successful, I'd feel even more so if there was a donation. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah, I really don't think I know that many in here. Why did I spend $31 on it? Because I don't think it was a gift. Just because I liked the sound of certain things at the time or something? Or maybe because it says the Guitar Bible, maybe I was trying to find my faith, or deciding if I wanted to. And maybe I was trying to say, if I buy this, God will be happy. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But God, like our angels, are always happy when we're doing well and trying in life. Kind of feel like doing a bit more music. I mean, you've seen what I can do. The other person just tuned in. I don't know if they tuned in about 10, 15 minutes ago, but I still don't. How has life shaped you into the person you are today? I see that you're echoing back my question. And I want to take a moment, because I know I had intended to answer that, and I'm trying to remember if I did, in which case it would be within the first, I don't know. I don't know if I should try and answer it again, see if I have a different answer, if I see if I have the same answer. I think I will answer this with a quote, which I mostly agree to be true. That, as I let my hair down, that, or I've seen a quote. Somebody was saying something earlier, and they thought that I'd quoted something from some movie, and I have heard of the movie but haven't seen it, and I didn't realize, and they didn't say they didn't reiterate what the quote was. They're like, "Oh, I'm sure you'll figure it out later," but I haven't seen it. Even if I haven't seen the movie, anyway, the quote is something that I'm thinking of now is, even though life has maybe something to the effect of, even though life has hardened us, a true something of character is when we don't let it affect how we treat others. Something of that. Have you heard that before? And I would say that's me. I mean, I'm not going to let people be jerks to me, and thankfully they usually aren't. I will stand up for myself as well as others. But at the same time, it's kind of like, yeah, life, the creator, the universe, and my free will choosing from all the above and self have made me musical, kind and loving, dynamic and diverse, and able to even sometimes feel heaven on earth amongst the times when it's a struggle. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can't let people get away with it though when they're not treating you well, and you can't. Um, it's hard to change some people though. It's true, and then also, so I've moved some things off this couch. I still haven't found my phone. Um, but I've said it a lot on my channel lately. We should all be trying to make it so that we're not experiencing hard times, because I was not sure when I first saw the still video. Like I said, there was the still you had a bit of a face you're making, and I thought, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, at the same time, I try not to be too quick to judge, and I'm glad that I wasn't, because, like I say, I enjoyed your video, and sometimes it's how we take things, right, which may or may not be how it's meaning to be taken, but yeah. At the same time, as I get older, I can't remember if you said how old you are. I mean, it depends on the context or whatever. I don't know. I do feel like sometimes you have to know kind of when to just kind of leave it be. You're younger than me, and another person earlier in one of my other videos was the exact age as me. So that's interesting. Sometimes and again, it's not so much an age thing. We all learn different things at different rates, different times in our life, because of the people that have been in our life and the experiences we've had. I mean, it's so powerful and interesting to realize that, right? And so I don't know if it was any one person that taught me that, or if it's just that sometimes it's easier just to say, I'm going to ignore that. I'm not going to feed into it, you know. Um, but it's hard. It's hard not to be reactive and impulsive, especially if you're a free spirit. And it's yeah, it's yeah. So you're an activist, perhaps, in your way towards anti-bullying, and that covers so much ground, man. I mean, don't mind how I said that, but it. So I think if I was to share something else with you, if you didn't relate, you'd be okay about it. So maybe I will. But we have a second person that just tuned in who might be unfamiliar to me, so maybe I'm just not going to see it in the other video because it was pretty obvious there, not just myself. Um, but there was something else I was going to say, and I can't remember what. But that other person did go, and this is a little more than an hour into this, so maybe I should say the thing. And also, I haven't done this very much, and the one time I did, well, let's start off with this and see, and it could be anything, but as long, I did a video about communication, how important it is to have good communication and the things that sometimes we forget, any of us could, and why it matters and how to improve. And I think I covered the topic well, but so as long as we always remember that, whether on YouTube or in some other way, I'm sure we could have a lovely connection. And yes, I sometimes feel like I'm struggling to keep up with things, and we do have a lovely connection, or overwhelmed, and sometimes I'm more sensitive to it than others. We still do the best that we can. When that friend was saying something about, if you're venting, that's cool. If you want a more direct response, let me know. And I says, I thought I was being direct. And then I had since said, well, whether I'm venting or not, say what you're meant to say when you want to say it. And I know that she'd be coming from a good place in saying it. So it's fine, and it does make me think of another song I had open, but I think I went from that tab, and I think I decided I wouldn't do it. But I guess this has been rolling for an hour and a half, so maybe it was earlier in this one, but I feel like it maybe wasn't. I think it was, though. I thought of that Ed Sheeran song. You might be able to guess what one by the title. And I've had Ed Sheeran tabs open for a while, and the truth be told, it would be fun to do it. And the other song that I wondered about him was a Nina Simone cover, I believe, which I can't believe it didn't get Ozil. And then, yeah, I'm pretty good with this window. I have 3 other things I want to look at. Like there's this phrase that someone has posted in their video. It's like, I heard people do it alone, do it broke, do it tired, do it scared, just do it. That's a live stream, but maybe I don't need to watch other people's live streams today, like while they're live, because mine have been so enjoyable. I mean, I still could, but you know what's interesting, mate? I've been thinking about Scottish music a lot lately. And I have an idea of kind of writing a Scottish song, and I kind of have come up with some ideas, but not enough to share it. I don't know what you have going on tomorrow, but one that kind of stands out to me. I'm going to see if I can find the lyrics. I met this band in person here in Canada once. I almost think they might be on a chord site, actually. And I was listening to some of their music, and they are. And I don't know if I know and okay, truth be told, well, so you're not in Ireland. You're in England, and I know the Irish and the Scottish, but still, I mean, we'll stop. Oh, here it is. Woohoo! I didn't know that they had it posted. Last time I looked. But it kind of has that vibe. So whether the morning feels like it could be heavy for you for some reason or not, I'm going to do this song. I just don't know if I need to pop upstairs for 5 or 10 minutes so that I'll be able to better focus. Would you both be able, or at least one of you, hopefully both of you, be able to stay for me to do so? And then I guess I'll play it on the piano for the first time because my guitar is needing, it's not playable at the moment. Okay, cool. And that's just for anybody else that sees this. And if anybody's asking it, or yeah, okay, cool, thank you. I'll probably still start on focus because it's like I know people are waiting for me. I know it's being afraid instead of course. So maybe it's not something you struggle with. Maybe you're like, good things come to those who wait. And that is true. Sometimes I have to take a long ass time. So it's a mixture of both eager excitement that I was maybe a little bit quicker than I may have otherwise been. And even if you two, as you are, one of you promised, and the other one is either the person who was here before or somebody else, and you didn't seem to mind waiting, and I appreciate it. I am not going to do this song. No, just kidding. I know the pain in waiting for your life to get back on track and where you want it to be, waiting for opportunities, waiting for certain types of connections, waiting for your YouTube channel to you know be monetized and be successful in all the ways. And actually, that's interesting. And then there was the basketball thing came up. I almost want to sing a song. I don't know if I did audition. I think I sang the one I did do. Two videos somewhat recent. So you make me brave. Uncle Jammo, you make me think of 3 videos that I've done recently. And I just was thinking of just now, and then it's like, oh right, I did a Hootie song. I did a in a recent video. Not sure if I'd remember which if I saw it by the title. I did a Billy Joel song. But I kind of think I'm going to wrap this up. Possibly. I mean, I've still got essentially an hour, and then I'd like at least half an hour, to unwind before my other things, which is not like super intense, but I kind of feel like doing the Scottish one and then not doing Green Sleeves, but doing Green Day. And it's interesting that I thought of one of my teachers, because back in my high school days, maybe I'll do 2 Green Day songs for the price of one. And that one song is called Waiting, and that's why I thought of it. Although, just if there's any of you Americans, I mean, I know it's hard to be more of an American idiot than Trump, but, don't be an idiot, And I didn't need to tell either of you two that, but anybody that's comes in after that. Waiting and, yeah, I'm not gonna do the one. I'm gonna do one Green Day song, the Scottish one, and we'll go from there. Capiche? But But 1 minute here. Okay, it says at least one is back. It went to 0 for a moment there. I mean, although that's sometimes a glitch. I'm going to put on the green shirt for the Green Day, the green sleeves for the Scottish. I'm going to notice my grandmothers walk in a certain kind of way, that when you notice, I know that sounds funny, when you end the view and it's a 0 again. But I think I'm still going to do it. You know, maybe your device died, or maybe your exit, I don't know. It was abrupt. Oh, I've been here for the past 30 minutes. You've counted, have you? Like I say, another YouTuber had inspired me to say, you know, to say in the comments before, while it's live or afterwards, you know, I don't want to hold you to it, but 7, how life has shaped you in 7 resonating moments is how I, like I say, rephrased it. Maybe you've already done 2. I'll give you a 2 for grace, but I don't think that you're complaining that you're saying, you know, that you have to rush off. But just in case you are, I'm going to get to the songs. But and I appreciate it. I feel like it's maybe been a little bit longer, but I could be wrong. And although I didn't make it on auto, maybe the crowds would have been too loud. Maybe the way they do the show would have been too challenging for me. But here, the crowd is in the comments, so I can handle that white noise. And the way I do the show is the way I choose to do the show. I think I've heard people say that they can hear me over the AC, so hopefully. Where's my water? Okay. To the sports fans out there, something kind of funny happened earlier connected to water. Ooh, and then I almost fell on the bench. Out. So just making sure, because the indicator might be being wonky. I don't understand. Like within the same video, it's wonky. Okay, it's dipping or whatever with the connection. Okay. Okay. So this is what one-handed piano sounds like. You're like, oh, that can't sound very good. Just kidding. Okay. And hopefully our mornings do not feel heavy to us, or we find ways to enjoy them and help others to enjoy them, perhaps. And watch. Yeah, you gotta say, I was watching this YouTuber the other day, and hey, if you want to plug me, you want to plug me. I'm kind of plug you, right? So, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know your content super well yet, but like you say, you've been here for a while. Okay, here we go. Morning lies heavy on and I couldn't find time to fall asleep, and I couldn't stop from thinking of the deeper, because the morning lies heavy on me. And the band, I think it's the band who posted this, because it didn't include the chords for the next part, but it was. Said I didn't have to be there till tomorrow. And this friend that I've really got to see. But it's not goodbye, but only farewell. That the morning lies heavy. Tell me who's the one who fights till he's broken. Is this would be so great having him here with the flute, but he's still at work. To the man who sits in judgment of us all, wouldn't care if it was their life they were taking. They don't listen, even answer to the call. What does that lyric make you think? And tomorrow I'll be flying from the mainland and joining a new company. And some of us will never see our homeland. And the morning lies heavy on me. What's the whole song make you think of? Tell me who's the one who fights until he's broken? Is it the man who sits in judgment of us all? The dog looks up at me laying over there. I wouldn't care if it was their life they were taking. But don't listen or even answer to the call. And what's left for decent people to believe in? Says Joyce, but I think it's a verse. It's not as simple as to be or not to be. And what's the point if it was only us that were deceiving? I think it's about being anti-war, but in the morning lies heavy on me. Tell me who's the one who fights until he's broken? Is it the man who sits in judgment of us all? I don't care if it's the love they were taking. They don't listen, even answer to the call. Yeah, the morning lies heavy on me, Father. I couldn't find the time to fall asleep, but I couldn't stop. Not quite. You'd either be sleeping or thinking, or dreaming. Couldn't stop from thinking all the deeper. And the morning lies heavy on me. I've subscribed. Oh, I thought you had a long time ago, but cool, thanks. And we've got 2 other people. Hopefully you like, comment, subscribe as well. I can't go too much longer. Like I say, it's been a very podcasty day, but I'm going to at least do one more song, and we'll go from there. So, but no, I do not want to be an American Idiot. Hopefully you don't either. Kind of interesting how this song came out. So, oh, and it's a good thing I'm sitting at the piano because I found a very flat version of it. But hopefully it will sound okay. Let me send it. It's so good. Oh, glad you enjoyed it too. Ooh. I'm going to find a different version. Because even being at the piano, that didn't sound right. Which, when my grandmother hummed, that's kind of how she hummed. And it might be a very kind of maybe you do the same, Uncle Jammers. So how did you get that nickname, actually? And was it your DJ name? Is it because you really like wearing pajamas, or you like jam? Or I know my first time I asked, I thought it was maybe because you're musical. Maybe sometime if you, well, you said you just do instrument, maybe we'd be happy to help. They have a song that is their, and it's up near every day. Oh, thank you. Oh, like Jamers. Okay, it was the way I was saying it that made me think of sandwiches and music. I like sandwiches. I eat them all the time. That's funny because I don't understand what I'm seeing in this title, but it says Jar Jason Andrew Rivka. Just kidding. Um, Anywho, I'm looking for the dub. Oh my goodness gracious me! I don't know if you know that. I don't know if you know that we actually there's a theater group called James and Jamesies, and that theater festival is going to be starting here soon. They might be in it. And they do something about tea, but Green Day has a song called "Kill the DJ." Let's get them, not the DJ, but and then there's Pink has a song I don't know very well called "God Is the DJ," and I have a kind of memorable DJ from my school days actually because his sister welcomed me back in grade 6 after my dad passed away, and we may or may not be related to them, but it has never really come to certainty. But they're in a different province. Um, but that was it stood for something. Um, and it looks like you're the only one here now. I believe it's you. And if it is you, I'd be happy to. I think again, as long as we remember that let's keep the good thing going. Work through any communication things that we try not to jump to conclusions, because they can cause misunderstandings, and try and address them as quickly as we can when there might be one. Then we'll have a successful connection. I just want to make sure it's okay. But the second one now, it's gonna get my email address. Um, but I'll do this. I'm still looking for. If you're not opposed to me doing a Green Day song after finding out what you found out, then they have 27 pages worth of songs. Mine, some of them are different versions of the same song. So I hope that you both are planning to have a lovely either rest of your day or tomorrow. Um, like I just saw a title of one that I kind of remember and sort of want to try. That would be cool. On piano? Deep inside the solid bad key though. I don't know it well enough to do it. Are you caught up in a world that's been set for you? I think it's just you here, so I'm going to give you my email address if you care to connect there as well, because I don't know if I should give you the one. Yeah, it's just you. So, and Corey44957 at Gmail. 44957 at Gmail. If you'd like to talk more one-on-one and possibly even be interested in music lessons, I'd love to give you them if there's an instrument you'd like to learn. Guitar and piano are my main ones. Voice a little bit. We have a flutist in the house who would possibly be happy to show you things, but that's more him. Yeah. The song that I'm wanting to do is it's in the W, so I'm having to do a lot of clicking to get there. It is hot in here. Or is it just me? Well, I'm the only one in here. That's this Angel Standing By. That's a song, isn't it? By who? I feel like it's country. I feel like I saw it in a playlist recently. Jewel? Okay. Um, I haven't been outside much. It's been a mix of sun and cloud the past few days, and it's looks like it would be hot out. I mean, I'm standing in front of the AC. It's because I'm putting all this effort in, I guess. Not that I'm struggling or whatever, but it's been a podcasty day. Like I say, we got two other people here. Welcome. I'm just looking through all this. That was the only version that they have of it. Oh no, I wish I could get a preview of it before I click into it. That's the one I clicked into before, but at least I'm on the right list of pages or options. And I think I like it enough to do it. So here we go. That's interesting. It still says tuning is flat, but it's naturals. But it seems to be naturals at the same chords the other version said was flat. Users of the website post to it, and they're not always accurate. Or sometimes they think they are, and they are. So I've been waiting a long time for this long moment to come. I'm destined anything good at all. Downtown, light will be shining on me like a new diamond ring out under the midnight hour. No one can touch me now. I can't turn my back. It's too late. Ready or not at all. Well, I'm so much closer than I have ever known. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. See what I mean? I'm so much closer than I have ever known. Wake up! Dawning of a new era's calling. Don't let it catch you falling. Ready or not at all. So close, enough to taste it almost. I can embrace this feeling on the tip of my toe. I'm so much closer than I have ever known. It's just one more. I don't think you're that lucky star. Something like that. Dumbstruck, calling me stupid. Good luck, we're gonna need it. Where I'm going, if I get there at all. Wake up, I think you're lucky star. Something to that effect. Okay, well, hopefully you heard my email when I said it. If you choose to do that, really happy to have you here. So far, at the moment, it's just you. Very nice. Thank you. Do you know Jewel Music? Do either of the two of you know Jewel Music? That soul that was around the other day kind of had a look that reminded me of Jewel. I mean, a beautiful blonde woman, in other words. you know, enjoyed very much. I have a very, very mild headache, and I'm kind of warm, but I'm not bad. And I'm glad that you've enjoyed it very much. The question is, am I going to do any Jewel music, or am I going to wrap this up? That is the question. What is the answer? Charlie Maynard Ernestine plays music and improvises. It sounds often very similar every time, but I still like it, and every now and then it's different. And just feels the music. Thanks for the heart. I have a neat idea. Although I hope that you will be, seeing many of these videos to come. Thanks for the hearty heart. You prior at you. Just kidding. And we got 3 people here who haven't said anything, and I don't want to roll too much longer, but I have an idea. And I feel like I have the energy to do it. Life is fragile. Tomorrow is not always promised. I do not mean to make that feel a certain sort of way, but it's only the truth. And I hope that we have many tomorrows to enjoy each other's content and company. But if we don't, I'd like to round this off, I think, as I wonder where my chapstick went to, that I was sure I had over here, with maybe a little improvised song for you. And the other one left. They're like, well, this is about to be very intimate, so I'll leave it to the 2 of them to enjoy. It isn't guilty, but that's not what I'm thinking I'm do this. Because I'm thankful, and I know I've said it in words, but maybe I'll say it in music. And I hope you'll hear that rap piano fusion. Like I say, it was the long one. I think it was 2 before this. Sounds of Something in the comments was one of the commenters. Sheila was another one. And it may have had Colton's name in it. So God put my name in the flashing lights, that's for sure. Come a long way from where you've been, and I'm happy you're here, my friend. That's for the heart. You're spreading the words of love and acceptance and diversity. Don't know if you've been to university, but we don't need a degree for that. To learn by life, through the struggles and the strife. We are the people who shape us, who we meet in our life. They are the people who they are because we've been in their life. So make it good, make it worth it. Because you're good, because you're worth it. Thanks for the hearts. And there was a second person that came in during that. I'm not going to say that wasn't for you either. One other thing, 2 other things, because I forgot them earlier, and then I'll wrap this up. Another video that you have made me think of, because she did a similar type of thing that you do, is there's one many weeks ago. That was the first one. The name Linda Regula is in it, in the title. There's another one where the still might show, or at least the beginning of the video, and actually most of it, shows art on a couch and a bunch of clothes. It was just the other day, actually. I'm curious what you think of those. The only other thing is that I have been working on a book project, but it's been kind of not focused on for a long time. And one of my friends, he honestly was more an acquaintance in life, but I feel like he has connected to me and grown as a friend. was a part of that project. And I'm sure I don't know what publishing would look like, but I know all kinds of things get published. So I know I should give it a try, perhaps, maybe go back into that project. And the reason why I mention it also is because I have a scene in it, and I might do another one, which also fits the theme of what it sounds like a majority of your content is about. And I don't want to give anything away. I mean, even if I said the scene, a little bit about the theme of the scene, I can tell you this much, that anybody else who wanted to do something similar would do it in their own way. Basically, and I know, still I hope you see the other stuff, not just stuff that's to come, but I'm kind of dropping some hints here about some of the themes. So it's been a while since I've looked at this particular project, as I said, but there's a scene where somebody is being bullied and some force pushes them and they don't know what it is. And that force is, from what I recall, well, it is definitely angel spirit type of thing. But the person that I knew in my life, put himself into the project a little bit. And if I recall correctly, and I have it in my emails, if I recall correctly, it was as if it was his character. I had to help with the cover idea, and they sent one through that, oh my gosh, looked like him. And it also makes me think a little bit of Whistle baby, don't you know? I would need the mic though, and I need to whistle better. Do, 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 do. Would you like to know? And it's just you here right now, and I kind of want to share this story, and then I'll wrap up. And I'd be curious what you think of it. I really would. It's very random, like a lot of this has been. And then seriously, my nose is starting to run because I've been blabbering so much and becoming a bit of a blubbering but lovely mess. But this was somebody I knew online who passed away of a drug addiction. I don't know if it was like a one-time mistake that did it, or if it was, something that he struggled with for longer. And we were downtown, uptown girl, just kidding. And we went past a construction site, and I will remember his bravery, if you want to call it that. He probably didn't really think much of it. Bisexual man, as we get a second viewer in. And I guess he liked what he saw, and he did a little whistle. Give a little whistle. Give a little whistle. When you don't know what to do, give a little whistle. Sometimes I whistle better than other stuff. But it's weird because yes, I put some of the stuff on. But anyway, so, and that I think was the only time I ever hung out with him in person. And I don't remember what else we did that day. We probably went to Subway or something like that, I feel like. And I knew him online a little bit. And, it's these small moments with the people that, whether we get close to them or only meet them a couple times, can stick with us. And if I was to say what I think that taught me, not that I'm just going to go randomly whistling at random people, construction workers or not, I think it's taught me bravery and to be myself. And so has YouTube. The right people will hear it, enjoy it, and be positive and great, and I appreciate that. Anything else doesn't need probably to, be spending time on YouTube as much. They probably need to be kind of focusing on themselves a little bit and looking a little deeper at that. And I'm saying this to, 2 hours into two people who I don't really feel need to do that. But, it's the more people that do that need to and haven't and discover that they need to, the better the world will be. Because the world is a lovely place, and we can see that every day if we look. And we can see the signs and the symbols from our loved ones that have passed on and our ancestors. And it's good to try and enjoy what's good in life. Again, tomorrow, you may or may not make it into. I hope that you do. I hope that you do. But when I think of these two young people close to our age that have passed away, one to let's come down the street, to there's so many ways. There's so many, yet not very many ways that people can pass away. And again, I know I'm being morbid, but it's interesting. I used to kind of be ambivalent about life, and again, if you're able to donate, that's great. Otherwise, I've appreciated you being here. And I still am a little bit. And I'm still trying to make some things happen in my life. And I always try and see the good and be positive. But it's interesting. And again, if you want, CORY44957@gmail.com. But again, it's kind of like, it's interesting. It's interesting, like a number of months ago when I was having some health issues, which I might still be having a little bit. And although I still had my struggles, and I have my days, where I have more than others, basically, although I am okay either way, and there are some things that make me want it to hurry up and happen, there are other things like a dog, spouse, the house, the talent, things about living that I would miss. So I try to stay strong and keep going. We need to make the most of every day because we don't know what's around the corner. I mean, I'm turning into this guy I follow on here. Maybe he tuned in as one of the other two people who does these long streams, sometimes all at once. Like I said, this is 2. That was about 3 or 4 or 5. I've probably 2 times this week done in total duration of like 6 hours. And I don't know if I'll do one tonight, maybe a short one. I might just decide I've done plenty good podcasts today and I'm good, and I have lots posted too, right? Yeah, it's this does make me think of another song, 2 of them, and it's really ironic because because of the junk kind of movies she watched, even though she liked anxiety. Someone I mentioned a little earlier, there's a song, it's more so for although you might be in the fall season where you live. Here we're finally experiencing spring/summer. But I don't know the song very well, but I kind of want to try it because it came to mind, and I'm a free spirit. And it's called I know the theme as to what it's about, and then there's God's will. Now, the cool thing about God's will, whether you want to hear about it in a religious way or not, is it is possibly the only song which I have made hand movements for. I know, intriguing, right? It's like, can I wait till his October? Or around then? But let's do I want to, though? Because I don't know it super well. It is the kind of topic that can make you feel anxious. It's like, or, in various ways. But I do remember it being a nice song. It would probably sound good on the piano. So I'll let you decide. Because I can't. I could, but I won't. I'll let you decide. We have 4 people. I would hate to wrap this up when there's 4 people here. I do only have a little bit more stamina because it's been, like I say, a lot of podcasting. And I'm possibly only familiar with one of you. And anytime that I wrap up as you tune in, don't take it personally. And if you're like, I've seen this guy, I've been curious, I've seen this individual, and I've liked it, whatever, you can check out the other content. That works too. Have to go now, buddy. I've enjoyed listening and chatting. Same. So you have a great night. We do still have one other person here. And, I know I said what I just said, but I'll give you the opportunity to introduce yourself if you'd like and say whether you'd like to hear the song. I don't know why the road looks like it just moved a little bit, but I didn't do anything to it. I didn't notice it. Oh, wait, it did. Yeah, right. So I think Jamesy has left, and all 3 of you did. So that tells me, but that's fine. That's fine. And it may only be, but somebody came back or just tuned in. And even though there's only 1 like, it means a lot to me. And whether you've seen my content or not, and I know it's a pet peeve of mine, especially when you've not seen somebody's content before, and as soon as you tune in, they're telling you like and subscribe. But I'm 2 hours into this, and you left, so whatever. But what I'm trying to decide is whether I do the song on the podcast or not. Do I want to look it up and listen to it? And the one that tunes in is probably someone who came in a few times and they're like, just play the damn song. God is curious. Down on the corner, out here in the street. Really? Well, apparently there's more than one song called this. And I have to type a full last name to find it. I'm tired, folks. It's but I'll and the viewer left. I guess in the back of my mind too, there's a bit of this goal, and I kind of started the day with it. Money is not the only important thing, but it helps in life, and it helps your soul feel good. And so maybe we have 2 people that just tuned in right as I was about to wrap up. So I think I will release this song. If you like it, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and you left. Well, I thought we were more over 2 hours in this, but then 2 people are here right away. Let me just quickly look at the lyrics and see if I could see myself singing these lyrics. Yeah, I haven't looked at all of them, but I really actually do like these lyrics. And 2 became 0. I remember the music video a little bit that I saw ages and ages ago, and I remember. I'm gonna have to plug this in soon, but I might get it in first. 42%. We got 2 again. I don't know if it's the same 2 that coming and going. Something going on with the connection or what, but I'm gonna do this song. So. By Martina McBride. EABEA is an interesting combo. Just in case in the middle of it I get chilly and I'm not super smooth, I'm just gonna wear this like Liberace or whatever. Sorry. Get away. gonna be. You know what? As much as I would like to do it, maybe I'll read the lyrics, as much as I've read out so far. But I don't think I know this one well enough to do it without listening to it. Um, so I'll read out the lyrics. If you'd say yes, I'd like you to cover that song in its own video sometime soon, then I'll do so. There's no good crash course in how to win what you're fighting for. You find a little grace when you lose your faith and you set your sights once more on a slow, deep breath and the strength to take another step. And keep walking, baby. Keep walking. It's around the corner. The sun's a little warmer. Don't blow over. It's finally over. The weight that you've been holding, the faith that you've been broken, ain't broken any longer. That's not a good version of it. Longer, and you'll be stronger just around the corner. Like flag in the air, if you need kind of prayer. It's that you don't know who's lifting, but you hope it's someone somewhere. It's reaching out kind of friend over and over again. It's a godsend. It's a godsend. Breaking the clouds. Can't see it now, but it's out there. Put your head up, or put in front of the other. Just do it around the corner. Blah, essentially. But yes, I've been rolling for a long time. I'm pretty tired. So I'm glad that we have someone here. Hope you like something that you've heard. Um, don't be shy. And we'll talk to you some other time. But yes, I mean, I will just state, like, I do all this on here for me, but also for you all. So all this energy that I've put into it, yeah.